your host, me, Alex Ringler, calling in from New York City, which is sunny. It's still a little cold, not 6 degrees cold like it was this Monday, but still a little cold. Let's go around and say who you are, where you're from, and if you have anything fun planned this weekend. Russ.
Hi, my name is Russ White. I am the co-founder, co-producer of Q Life Media. I am doing nothing this weekend. I have been on 2 major events this week, and I am just exhausted. So I am literally going to die right after this goes live.
Nice. Well, good luck dying. Michael?
Hi, I'm dining and entertainment writer Michael Barbieri, calling in from New York City. And actually, tonight, I'm going to an invitation-only, super secret, soft opening of a new restaurant.
Ooh, fun.
That would be very cool.
Thanks for the invite.
Aaliyah.
Hi. Sorry, I'm doing my nails. I'm Aaliyah Sky. I'm a fashion designer and drag queen. I am calling in from Los Angeles, California. And what was the question behind that? What was the other thing?
What are you doing this weekend?
Oh, girl, I am dressing like a woman and walking children in nature.
Well,
I'm taking a tour of Long Beach in drag.
That's amazing. Can you please record that? I want to see it on your story.
Oh, girl, you know I'm not social media savvy. You'll never see it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll never.
Last but not least, Walter.
It's the dreaded and feared Walter Kurtz coming to you live from the bunker today. Without Fanny, she is still fighting over residuals over last week's episode. Until that's been ironed out, she's not making another appearance. And exciting today, not particularly exciting, I've got to finish this batch of meth I've been cooking for the past several hours. Once that's done, everything's fine.
I knew I was going to call you for some reason. This is Nomi, who occasionally likes to be on camera. Get out, cat. Anyway,
I remembered I have one more thing I'm doing tonight.
Yes.
We're doing Drag Supper Club at Treasure Island, so I will be with Chanel, India Farah, and Coco Montrese.
Cool.
I always liked me some Chanel. I like her. Well,
and I adore Coco.
Well, yeah, I think they're both nice queens there. Well, tell us how that goes. But this episode, pobrecito Valentina. But okay, so we have 7 queens left now. I was surprised there wasn't a double elimination, but let's start with the challenges and that sort of thing. I gotta say, I watched this at Therapy Bar, and thanks Joe for the free Diet Cokes. Everyone was so over Valentina. When I say they're over, like, she came on screen and started doing her normal shit, and everyone was like,
yeah.
Audibly over Valentina. I'm wondering at this point, like, because we've talked about it on this show, it's like, I don't know if it's a losing fans thing, but I feel like she's becoming less relatable as, like, a personality. So do you think that's going to have any effect on her as her career continues? Let's start with Walter, please.
As long as she stays off reality television, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, people forget that and all. You know, it's her shtick, and it's stupid, and it's boring.
Yeah, with the like French vanilla fantasy shit and like always posing. Like I understand.
It'll be interesting to see how she goes over in Rent.
I'm sorry?
It'll be interesting to see how she goes over with audiences in Rent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I made a very funny meme that I cannot post because I feel like it would reap a lot of havoc for my social media life, but I'll send it to you guys.
Send it to me. I'll send it.
No sending. Do not post this publicly. For me, it's just she's becoming so unrelatable with like the always posing, always fashion like moment, and even with the painting challenge where everyone was like, okay, let's get to business, and she's still like being dainty and giving a look at. Literally everyone in the bar was like applauded when she was eliminated this week. Oops, spoiler alert. I'm sure you've watched the show if you're watching our show. So that being said, we do get to the challenge. It was an interesting challenge. It wasn't like I thought it came together very well, but when it was presented, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be my favorite challenge. But I thought it came together very well. I liked the teams. I will say I think Beehive was my favorite, or The Hive was my favorite. Aside from Manila, but we'll get into that later. Let's go around. Russ, what did you think of the challenge this week?
I thought it was an interesting challenge, and it was definitely out of the box for a box.
In the out of the box.
But I wanted to see more than just painting. I wanted to see them doing more within the space rather than just rolling paint on a wall. I think that would have broadened what we see them normally doing. And I think that's one of the critiques that Walter's had for a while is we see the same things over and over. And this was that opportunity to really expand what we do see them do. I think the outcome was really great. And so from a challenge perspective, I think we just don't know how much help they had putting the whole thing together. So even if it was a time lapse of the piece coming, of the spaces coming together, I think that would have been a little more informative and entertaining.
I agree. I feel like they had trouble editing this this episode because did they have like an extra commercial break or something? There were a lot of commercials this week, so I thought that maybe they just didn't have quite enough fodder to make a full episode out of because, you know, I don't know. But Michael, did you have a favorite room?
Yeah, I liked the Hive also. I mean, I liked the Hive and I also liked the Black Hole. But the Hive to me was better for a number of reasons. First of all, they were the older queens of the bunch. I mean, maybe Trinity not so much, but certainly Manila and Latrice are older. So they understood who they were playing to. They were playing to Ru, Michelle Visage, Carson Kressley, Suzanne Barsh, people who were at those legendary parties a long time ago. So they got that. But then also the decor itself, being that it was all in tones of yellows and golds, it was just warmer and it seemed friendlier.
And it was, I think they were right. I think it was the best decorated. And the way they did their performance presentation, the spelling bee thing, it felt more like you were in a gay club that like a drag queen was hosting. It just seemed very natural. I will say I agreed with what they said about Manila. She seemed to be kind of interjecting just to interject. And I gotta say,
stealing focus a bit.
Even since her first season, I really don't get or find it funny, the whole cross-eyed thing that she does. I know she does it a lot, and I'm like, to me, like, you're doing a stunt and it's not funny. So I don't know why she keeps doing it, but anywho. Aaliyah, did you have a favorite
I did
room?
like the bee puns.
Yeah, that was fun, but I don't know, just something seemed forced about Manila, and whenever she goes cross-eyed, I'm like, this isn't funny or attractive, so I don't know why you're doing it. Aaliyah.
Of course, I like everybody else. I like the Beehive. I thought it was the cutest overall. Like, I think the whole thing felt like you weren't in some like really shitty little box, you know, like because of the lighting and everything else. And I did like the Black Hole, although I did not understand the alien outer space. I thought like they looked cute. I thought the girls looked cute. I didn't understand the baby in the incubator. I didn't understand a lot of that stuff, like in a club. So I enjoyed it. And then Valentina's Naomi, I didn't get that at all. I didn't understand what was happening.
All they had was rhymes and a catchphrase.
That's the thing. It's like, well, we've seen this before with, I think in Valentina's challenge with Nina Bonina Brown in her season, when they had to make this, the pilot TV show or whatever, they were kind of riffing and they didn't have a script. They didn't have anything well rehearsed out. And I think that's how Valentina rolls. And it has failed her before, and it obviously failed her again. Even if Naomi was like, come on, girl, we need to get something down. And she tried. I think in the end, that's maybe why Queen saved Latrice saved her, because she at least kind of tried. Walter, what did you think about the rooms? Did you have a favorite, a least favorite? Were you over anyone in particular?
My favorite, and from the sounds of the judges, was actually the Black Hole. And I think I feel that way because I thought the two of them had the best chemistry. They really were great together talking on camera. And I liked the alien baby. I thought that was funny. As for Valentina and Naomi, it was a vapid concept done by a couple of borderline vapid queens. And it just was, aren't we fabulous? Aren't we cool? Aren't we wonderful? Okay, but what about the challenge? And
exactly.
So
They gave you look because they're both look queens, but they didn't have any substance because
yeah.
they kind of know how to do that.
And they
Substance
paid no
queens.
attention to the VIPs.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
another
what
thing.
were those glasses? The drinks? Seriously, what were those glasses? And just
Those are yards. Those
was
are
just-
all over Vegas.
it was the milk syndrome where everybody tells me I'm fabulous, therefore whatever I do must be fabulous. Well, no.
Well, she's even admitted that like she doesn't live in reality. If
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
doesn't fit in her fantasy, then she doesn't want it. And it's like, okay, but we're all.
But
living
nobody's
here on
having
Earth.
her anymore.
Especially not therapy. I'm glad everyone agreed with me in therapy last night. That was fun to be around like-minded peeps. Okay, so we kind of are in line with what the judges were thinking. What did we think of the runway? I, for one, liked it. I didn't particularly like Monique's. I also got to say, with Manila's, Michelle has read people before for being too costume, and I feel like every week Manila gives us a costume, not necessarily fashion. And the fact that Michelle was like, this works for you because it's super you and super fun. I was like, but it's a costume. So where does she draw the line with that, and where do you guys draw the line with that? Let's talk to our fashionista, Miss Leah. What did you think of the runways? And do you get what I'm saying about Manila at all?
No, I totally get what you're saying. I really do. But as an entertainer, I would tell you what might look good or what might look great on one queen may not look good on the other. So in my opinion, I think it's like whenever they told Alyssa, like, oh, well, it's because you're you can get away with different things. I think it
Like
really
the camera
plays
dress,
into
for
your,
instance. Yeah.
yeah, I think it plays into your personality. I think what I could wear that would be considered as costumey may not look that costumey on a queen that fits her personality.
Yeah. Okay.
If that makes sense. So I think that's kind of where the line is, but it's completely subjective, and it's really just in the eye of whoever's seeing it. You know, I thought the looks this week were pretty good. I liked them. I mean, there wasn't anything that really jumped out at me as negative, but to be honest with you, I feel like I kind of glazed over the runway. I was still kind of worn out from the challenge because they were so long, like little video clips.
It was kind of funny though. Like the queen hosting, Holly Box Springs was hosting at therapy, and she said, right when they started getting ready, it's like, who wants to bet that Latrice is gonna wear a long sequin gown with rhinestones on it? And then she came out in that, so I was like, okay, she us. That's nice. We didn't get the same look again. Michael, what did you think of the runway?
I actually thought it was one of the better runways of the season myself. I loved Latrice's look, even though to me, it sort of had Manila's stamp all over it, because Manila is the one who usually has like eyes or creatures. Her costumes are sort of creature-esque.
I kind of think that's
but
more.
I liked the whole latex look.
Very Monique.
I liked Manila's look, and yeah, sure, it was costumey, but they're fucking drag queens.
Yeah.
Of course, it's costumey. They're costumes, but I thought hers.
Why does Michelle call some people out and not others on being too costumey? That's where I'm confused, I guess.
Yeah. But I thought hers was a really good combination of glamorous and costumey, and I liked it. And then I liked Monet's very much. I thought that was kind of glamorous, and again, it wasn't a one-piece bathing suit, at least.
Underneath it was.
She had a skirt on.
Leotards are a good basis for a lot of costumes, though. I'm not mad at her.
True.
And I thought Naomi's was fun.
Yeah, totally. I kind of want to feel how heavy that dress was, though. Naomi's dress. Russ, did you have a favorite on the runway?
Well, Latrice was over here last week, and I cannot find my anal beads anywhere.
Ooh, they're that big? Russ, when you have to get them that big.
Girl, floor to ceiling height, too.
You may need to take a break. Take a vacation. I'm glad they're not there anymore. That's all I'm saying.
I enjoyed Latrice's outfit. Trixie's, Trinity's. I didn't think bubblegum. I thought paint splash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
And it looked like a one-piece bathing suit with.
And it looked like a one-piece bathing suit. I did like the little reference to Carson made to everybody's undressed Barbie.
Yeah.
But
I kind of didn't like Valentina's crotch showing. I didn't particularly care for that,
but overall, not my favorite runway.
Okay. Walter, what did you think?
kudos to Latrice for doing something that wasn't Toddlers and Tiara.
Exactly.
So I thought that was very nice. I liked Trinity's. I thought Monique's was. I thought, but as for Manila, yeah, everything that she does is costumey. But if it's done really well and really clever, it doesn't matter. Because what are you going to say? Would you please stop doing things that are really well done and really clever and really smart? No, it's when people are doing costumey and it's just sort of like, you look like a Viking.
Okay. Out of a party bag.
So when it's done as well and on brand as Manila, I'm fine with it.
Okay, well maybe I have a problem this week because I didn't necessarily think it was that super well done. I thought the dress was done very well, but then she just put a basket of fruit on her head, so I was like, okay. So I didn't necessarily buy that as like her best look, I would say. Okay, but we're kind of on track for who was on tops and bottoms this week. When it came to the lip sync, do we know what Trinity was thinking with that? Because I was expecting like some sort of song that had to do with age or had to do with like a really old song. And this wasn't that old of a song. So I kind of was with Monet being like, you're walking around in this like, saggy titty kind of thing, but it doesn't really go with the music. Was this her just trying to stunt and pull the? Yeah, everyone's nodding.
Yeah.
Michael, what do you have to say about that?
Beg pardon?
Michael, what do you say about that?
I thought that, first of all, yes, it was an attempt at a stunt, and it didn't matter because everyone was so busy looking at her costume, they didn't focus on whether or not she was lip syncing well. With Latrice, she lip synced the shit out of it. She did a great job, and because she had that light blue glittery lipstick, you could really see her lips working the music, I mean, you could see that she knew those lyrics and that she was doing an interpretation of the song. Yeah.
I think a stunt works if you, number one, know the words very well, and number two, it goes with the song. Like, Shangela was
and
very
also,
good
it just wasn't, that old titty costume wasn't done that well.
No, yeah.
It looked like an undershirt with some sax.
Well, the other thing is you have the big reveal, the big gasp, and then it goes nowhere. Yeah. She doesn't do anything particularly special with it, and at time. And listen, the more offensive, the better for me. But I found it to actually almost borderline on bad taste because she didn't do anything with it.
Yeah,
it was it wasn't pleasant to look at, and she didn't do anything funny with it. You know, Carol Burnett did that character, the Sunset Boulevard character, where she had the saggy tits, and it was hysterical because it was all part of a larger picture. And with this, it was just sort of like the stunt, and then it went nowhere.
Yeah, there was no comment. There was no comment on anything.
Even Ru looked horrified.
Yeah, she's like, everyone was sick. Everyone was like, what's happening right now? Instead of like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I was kind of saying, like once it happened, I was like, oh, Latrice has this. And that being said, Latrice eliminated Valentina. Do we think Trinity would have done the same? Because she was kind of back and forth there in the workroom, having like Valentina being her quote unquote best friend in the competition. Do we think she might have gone the way of keeping Valentina, or she's been very strong about like being report card, I want the strongest person there with me? Do we think that she thinks Valentina slid below that line? Aaliyah, what do you think?
I think she would have sent Valentina home. I think she would have done the right thing. Yeah, because, girl, look, I've done pageants, and consistency, really, I've won pageants where I'd never won a single category, but I was second the whole way through, and therefore I won. Like, if you're consistent, if you hold the report card next to each other, even though Naomi hasn't had any wins, she's still done technically better than Valentina, because she hasn't
never been in the bottom. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's, and honestly, if it weren't for the stunt of bringing the eliminated queens back, she would have been double gone. Like, with those two queens like already eliminating her, so it's like I felt like her time was up last week, but that's just me. And in all, therapy agreed with me, so thank you, therapy, again. Walter, what do you think? Do you think Trinity might like start flip flopping, doing the friend thing? Do you think any of the queens might at this point, or are we going to stick to the report card?
Even if she were not sticking to the report card, I suspect everybody in that room was even more sick of Valentina than the viewers were. So yeah, she was going home.
I mean, even when they walked into the workroom the next day and she was doing her normal thing of posing in her boy clothes, and Monet was like, "Yeah, we're not accepting that, Valentina. We're done." And
the other thing that I noticed was when they were backstage after the runway, and Valentina was talking to each of the queens that were going to be judging her, and she was throwing her head back and crying. She wasn't crying at all. She kept saying, "Oh, I'm crying. I'm so emotional." But she wasn't crying at all. What she was doing was pretending to cry, because I think she thought that that was going to give her a leg up somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand why throwing your head back when you have a lot of makeup on, because you don't want it to run and shit like that, but I saw like very few.
It was more than that. She was just pretending.
All right. Well, she gone now, and that's all. That's all
Bye,
she wrote.
girl.
Girl, bye. So that takes one of our running, because we had her. A few of us had her in the top for top 4. Do we think where do we think it all lines up now? We're getting down to what, 6 queens left? I still think there's going to be a double elimination in there somewhere. Russ, who do you think's top 3 or 4 right now?
I still think it's Trinity's game.
Okay.
Latrice is up there. Manila is up there.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good top 3. I had that top 3. I would really like to see a Hall of Famer of color at this point. It's looking very monochromatic in the Hall of Fame at the moment. So, Michael.
Latrice, Manila, Monet, Trinity. Not in any particular order.
That's a good top 4. Yeah, I love Monique, but she seems to be faltering a little bit now with her runways. Aaliyah.
I think, as much as I love Latrice, I think she'll probably be the next to go home, actually.
Really?
I think she won't make it to the end, because she's been voted off already. Just one slip. And
that's what Monet was saying.
Rest at night, sitting in her home, not feeling bad about it, yeah. So I'm going to say Trinity. I'm still going to say Naomi, because she has been consistent. She'll coast through like she did on her season. I think Manila will be the older queen that will stick around. And then I think it will be between Monique and Monet, and I think Monet will come out the winner on it. I think Monique will probably be the one to go home like 5th.
Okay, so you're thinking Latrice goes and then Monique goes probably, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Walter?
It's a tough one. I think the 2 locks are Manila and Trinity.
Yeah, seems like it.
Next week is the Makeover Challenge, which is
my favorite challenge.
What killed Monet last time.
It sure did.
So, but she's got her assistant, Patrick, who's a friend of mine, as the person that she makes up, and he's very smart. He might keep her from shooting herself in the head. But I would not be surprised if we didn't have a repeat of Monet and Latrice being in the bottom 2. And then we go to the drama. But the final 4, it's Trinity, Manila, and I haven't a fucking clue. Well, I will say this. If Monet survives next week, I think she'll be in the top 4.
That's true. I could see that as well. Yeah, I just don't think she's great with the Makeover Challenge. She's good at like doing her own face. I don't know if she's good at like doing other people's faces and making other people look, especially when they want a family resemblance, and making them look like similar to her own look. So, well, but that's, it could be anyone's game. We don't know. One slip and they could turn on a Manila or a Trinity, because they've been doing so well. So they could send that person home too. Who knows? Anybody's game at this point still. I can't wait to see what happens. I really want a double elimination. I don't know why I do.
I thought there was going to be one this week, since they were doing
I thought so too. I thought it was going to be like a team thing. It's like if your team's in the bottom, it's between this team and this team that's going home. I thought that would have been fun and dramatic. But anyway. Well, thank you for watching The Morning After. Thank you for keeping watching Ru's All Stars Season 4. I can't wait for Season 11. There's a girl from the House of Tiara, my house, in the game now. She's not really from my house. She's from like Europe.
Plastique Tiara.
Plastique. Yes, my former name was Christelle Tiara, so I'm gonna just start telling people she's my drag daughter. They can find out for themselves if that's true or not. All right, thanks for watching us. Keep watching us. Keep watching Ru, and until next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.